Hey everyone, Jeremy with National Fire Radio. Welcome back for another episode of From Framerails to Finish, a collaborative project with National Fire Radio and Fire and Safety Services of New Jersey. Today we're here in Sparta, New Jersey, featuring a 2024 Pierce Enforcer. Top mount pump, 1,000-gallon water tank, and a 2,000 GPM pump. I'm excited to see what's going on here in Sparta. Join me as we look behind the doors in Sparta, New Jersey. Ryan Odom, Chief of Sparta Township Fire Department, thanks for having us. So we get to do this project from Framerails to Finish, and we talk about the fire apparatus that Fire and Safety Services in New Jersey, the Pierce dealer, is building for different communities. And I always say that in order to learn about custom fire apparatus and understand why they do what they do, we got to understand the town. Sure. And so I said to you, let's take a ride. And here we are standing in the Lake Mohawk community section of the town?
Correct.
Give me a little rundown on that.
Everyone in New Jersey, when they think of Sparta Township, thinks of Lake Mohawk. Very commonplace. Beautiful downtown section. Some would argue it's the heart of the town. As you can see down here, a lot of old architecture.
Right.
It's a local favorite. Summertime down here, it's even hard to find a parking space. Got a bunch of restaurants down here, it's fantastic.
I've been here, it gets crowded. A lot of people come up here for a weekend, right? You got the lake behind us, this beautiful boardwalk. But those all add challenges to your response area, right? Because what Sparta once was a sleepy bedroom community is probably a little bit busier these days.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of traffic even throughout the day, visitors of town. It's definitely changed over the course of the years.
You guys cover a big area, right?
It's just under 40 square miles, population of about 20,000.
And all volunteer?
100% volunteer.
Home response?
Yes.
Yeah, that's my world. I grew up in that, you know, so I get that. But you're talking, it's a big community. You got a lot of mileage to cover then. You said some would argue this is the downtown, so I'm assuming there's other sections of town as well?
Yes, so we have a big mix in town. If you go towards the north end of town, we have a small industrial park, older bedrooms. These were built by Crane. Very unique houses.
Yeah.
If you drive down this street here throughout the lake community, you're gonna see no two houses that are really alike. So that presents a problem of itself.
And so then designing fire apparatus, right? Thinking about the future. I mean, this is a 20, 25-year build, right? And so this beautiful engine, top mount pumper, which is something you guys have always done?
Yes, that's we've stuck with that for probably the last 20, 30 years.
And I know a 1,000-gallon tank, water is important to you guys.
Most of our town is hydranted. We're very fortunate, but there are some sections where, you know, just smaller mains, especially down some of these lake communities, as well as areas that just don't have hydrants or fire protection systems.
Yeah, well, you look at too, I mean, you look around this lake and you're talking like large square footage homes, probably setbacks off the main streets, probably have smaller, narrow roads to get into some of these lake communities. So you got a lot of challenges. So this engine we were talking about, it's a beautiful piece, right? It's a 2024 Pierce Enforcer, top mount pump, 2,000 GPM pump. You're carrying a lot of 5-inch and you got a lot of lines that are coming off this thing, right? So I gotta think, if you're gonna bury this up a driveway, you gotta have your water and you gotta have enough hose.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Operationally speaking, what else do you have in town?
We're running multiple apparatus at headquarters, as well as 2 other substations. Typically run either an engine and a ladder for our first due complement, or 2 engines, depending on where it is in town, if the ladder will be in play, what's accessible for us. Rely heavily, obviously, like every other volunteer department, on mutual aid. We're very fortunate around here. We have great mutual aid companies that share our strategies and tactics.
So let's talk about you a little bit. Chief of department, how many years have you been chief now?
So this is going to be my 2nd year as chief of department.
You grew up in this town, right?
Yes.
And so I think, like, for me, I think about like that small town feel still. And I know Sparta's getting busier and it's growing, and, you know, summertime, it, you know, population expands and so on. But being a home-rooted kid, you know all the little stories and the nuances around town. We were driving around before, and you're telling me about this place over here, that place over here, you know, this guy, I know this guy. We're gonna go for lunch over here because the guy owns a sandwich shop, and I know him. Yep. That's pretty cool.
Absolutely. I mean, the guy who owns the sandwich shop is one of our members.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate you, man. I really do. I'm excited to see what else is in town. We're gonna unpack what Sparta's all about. Thank you for including us and showing us around today. I'm excited to see what else Sparta has to offer.
Excellent.
Awesome. Thanks. I hear it's the best cheesesteak in New Jersey.
There's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with it.
That's what I say.
Well, we're gonna need a bunch of them then. What do you guys want for lunch? What are we doing? Cheesesteak. Cheesesteak? I love God. Listen, man, I'll support a fireman business any day of the week. And if it's a short order deli food, I'm in, man. How many years did it take to invent your cheesesteak recipe to make sure you got it right?
Oh, to get it to where it is now,
Yeah.
I'm still like constantly tweaking it a little bit to make it, like I always just want to make it better.
In a place like this, I hope the Sparta guys get down here and
Oh yeah.
every day.
Yeah, they're consistent.
Senator Sandwich Shop here in Lake Mohawk, Sparta Township, New Jersey. Best cheesesteak I've ever had. It's a brother-owned business working on this project with Fire and Safety Services from Framerails to finish. It's things like this that build community. This is a brother running the sandwich shop with a killer cheesesteak. Come check him out. Sparta Township, New Jersey. What a great opportunity to be here today for the From Framerails to Finish project that we're working on with Fire and Safety. This is your first Pierce engine. Correct. And so, Mike Herbst, thank you for having me. We were walking the truck and talking about a few things, and I want to share that. And then Justin Muldoon, the Deputy Chief of Sparta, thank you. Yeah, so real fun. I get to show up, walk around, look at fire departments, look at fire trucks, and then I get to talk about it, right? But I want to talk to the guys that were part of the process. And for the both of you, you guys were on the truck committee, correct?
Correct.
So the committee, Mike, talk to me a little bit about who makes up the committee. I know people get to volunteer, but I'm assuming.
One of the hats I wear is unfortunately chairman of the Apparatus committee.
Even
So
better.
unfortunately, but who makes it up is obviously the chairman, and then every January annually we have a sign-up sheet, and then who wants to be involved in the committee, and you know, the chairman, the co-chairman, and then we disseminate from there.
What I love about that, right, is the opportunity for a backstep guy and the front seat officer to have a say on the committee.
100%. Even from the guy that may never ride the piece, he can come into the meetings. He may not have the final say, but we want to get everybody's soup mixed up together and see, because that guy that may have seen a lot of stuff, he has an idea, and we put that into play sometimes. We do, and we mold it to where we need to be with it, but he gives us the seed to grow on.
So top mount pump, you put cross lays into effect, right? So you have your 2 lower sitting cross lays and a 2.5 cross lay on the pump housing, right? So are you guys primarily a cross lay department?
Yeah, we definitely take that as our first line of defense, always, pretty much always. You know, I mean, if it's something that we've been known to pull this and go fight a fire inside. I mean,
Well, why not, right?
It's the same piece. You can get to it, do it, drive it. We're aggressive department, but that's the way we were born and bred, and that's what tradition we follow.
What does that mean?
Aggressive department?
Yeah.
I want to get inside. I want to be in, excuse my French, the middle of the shit. I want to be in there. I want to see what's going on and knock it out. I don't want to stand there and watch it. My thing is to help you or help the resident or help, God forbid, anybody else in danger, and I want to save their property.
Well, I love that. And the reason why I ask, right, is like that is the design of this engine then, right? Because you got 1,000 gallons of water, you got easy deployable lines.
Correct.
So now we're talking fast and efficient setup, fast and efficient water.
Right.
The quicker we get water on the fire, the quicker the
That's the mainstay of the fire service. You can put all the hyperboles in there you want, variables, whatever you want to drive at it. It's still put the wet stuff on the red stuff. It's, you know, the solution is you have to extinguish the fire, and then your breathability, everything else becomes secondary. You limit the exposure at that point. You have to get in there.
I think finding a balance is absolutely necessary today. But I think guys like yourselves can drive the conversation and be protective of those core values of what the Sparta Fire Department stands for, right? Because at the end of the day, like we can't we can't blur the line. Like, we have to draw the line on particular things. And if fast water is what an aggressive fire department is for Sparta, then you need to design your apparatus to reflect that.
Correct.
And then you need to instill those values into your people.
And it flows down from there.
Right.
100%.
So Chris and Mike, I wanted to talk a little bit about the engine itself, obviously, right? That's why we're here. We're documenting the Sparta Township Fire Department, but it's because of this brand new 2024 Pierce Enforcer engine that you guys brought on board. And so let's talk about it. Chris, I know for you, you're the engineer of Engine 5.
Yep.
So some of the must-haves right out of the gate when it came to the truck committee, what were some of the things that were important to you guys?
We had to have enough seating, so it's an eight-man cab, a CBA in 6 of the 8.
Okay.
And an extra SCV on the back because we do have a lot of members that go POV to the scene. So we have a pack on the truck for the driver even.
Right.
We go Rick a lot out of town, so we're all set. So everybody can take part in that, even the driver if we have to.
Sure.
You know, this truck has speed lays where our other trucks have cross lays, so it's a little different. Puts the hoses lower down to the ground. And so we're able to really deploy them faster than even some shorter members that maybe can't reach up to grab the cross lays.
Yeah. Mike, how about you? You were the chairman of the truck committee. And so some of the must-haves, I mean, obviously those are two very important ones that Chris mentioned.
Another must-have was we needed availability in the cab, in the crew area of the cab. And we opted for the bigger cab. So we stretched it back another 10 inches to give us more room, and we opted for the raised roof, obviously, and the clear view of the Pierce, because it has nothing in our way.
There's no obstruction.
We want the crew members to see what the chauffeur and the officer are seeing. Rolling up to a scene is inevitable stuff that you're going to get knowledge right out of the box, and that's what we train our guys to observe before they even get off the truck, observe what's going on.
Well, I want to say this, you know, all the trucks I look at, so many departments elect to put in all this cabinetry on the inside. And what that's doing is it's blocking the view and it's creating a terrible ride for the guys in the back of the rig, right? So it's kind of nice how open and spread out everything is in there.
Right.
You guys did a really nice job in that design for sure.
We tried to keep it, again, like I told you, simple.
Yeah.
We wanted simple but functional, but almost on the high functioning side without clutter, if that makes any sense. We didn't want, like you said, not a lot of stuff going in there.
Yeah.
Not a lot of stuff going.
So Chris, being the engineer, I typically would think then you have the seat most of the time for chauffeuring.
Absolutely, in this truck I do, yeah.
How's it handle?
Handles great, yeah. It's got good get up and go, and you know, good visibility that I like a little bit better than our older apparatus.
Yeah.
And the controls are laid out really nicely too. To lights or you know, scene lights, all that stuff is just laid out very nicely.
Yeah, and then as the operator, I have to think having the mid-mount pump, which is important to the Sparta Township Fire Department. You guys, your other engines have top-mount pumps. So
yeah.
For you, Chris, to be up out of the roadway, to be able to have good visibility on the fire ground?
Absolutely, being able to see both directions depending on where we are, where the house is, or the structure is fantastic. And you know, just being up above the fray, I guess, right? So
yeah,
you're not tripping over the supply lines or the lines coming off the truck.
I'm terrified. I'm terrified of our highways.
Oh yeah.
They are, I think, more dangerous than structural fires these days. People are so distracted. I've been on numerous highway jobs where cars are locking up brakes and so on. I mean, it is a scary place to be. And so top mount certainly gives the chauffeur protection.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. The other thing I like about it too, which doesn't get talked about enough, is, you know, you talk about heavy fire on arrival, right? This is an interesting town, right? A lot of old construction, right? You also have a lot of large square footage homes with setbacks on the lake properties and things like that, right?
Absolutely.
So when you start looking at that, there's a good opportunity for rapid fire spread and heavy fire volume on arrival. Nothing's better than a top mount pump when the chauffeur can get up there and dump 500 gallons with that monitor at the
quick blitz
right?
attack, right?
Yeah,
a quick
absolutely.
blitz to darken it while the guys are stretching a line.
We've used it before.
I bet.
Yeah, and it's so critical to have 1,000 gallons on it when we get there. You can do a lot. You can knock down a lot of fire with that 1,000 gallons before the next piece gets there to give us more water. So it's great.
Interesting. You mentioned, Chris, the speed lays. So you have a 150 line and a 200.
And a 200, right?
And a 200.
Yep.
Why the 150 line?
Because like I explained, and Chris will elaborate, where Lake Mohawk and certain areas of our town are very close with close streets and close houses, if you have 200, 250, or whatever you want, and you're flaking it out, you're doing a lot of extra
Too much
work.
hose.
It's just too much. 150 sometimes could be your bread and butter. Whether we pull the 150 or we pull the bumper line, we have quick order. We want quick results. We want to be there. You know?
Yeah, some of those like Mohawk houses, the roads are just almost as wide as the truck, and the houses are right on the road. So a lot of times the bumper line, 100-foot bumper line, will get you that 50 feet you want at the door.
Sure.
So.
The other thing I noticed too that stood out to me was there's a pail of foam in the front bumper.
Correct. We opted not to do an inboard foam system because, again, for the amount they get used, yes, they have a lot of uses. For the amount they get used, the maintenance prohibits the use. Because if you read the book directly, you need to flush it every time, and once a month you have to service it. We're volunteer, let's put it this way. We put enough hours into that, and it just leads to headaches. So we opted for the inductor on the front bumper, and if you need it, it's there. There's ball valves there. You turn it on, put the inductor in, and you have your foam.
Sure.
It's just another way that we can get away from the hassles or worry of something breaking down.
Yeah.
Simplistic, sometimes things come full circle. It's going back to the way it dawned, inductors, that with the big foam cannons back in the day. So that's
What's old is new.
it.
You know, but that's the thing, right? You talk about like new technology, gimmicks, all these different things, right? And at the end of the day, what truly works is the basics of what we've always
Absolutely.
had.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I noticed too that I really like about this engine is the fact that you guys keep it very simple. It is an engine company.
Right.
It just, the compartmentation is simple. There's a simple layout. You guys talked about upfitting a little bit earlier on when we were having a conversation, and you said you like to do a lot of that in-house.
Right, again, because variables, and it changes. So from time of conception, when you sit down and you draw it out, to 3 years plus down the road, something new may have come out. So you don't want them to mount an old tool that you don't want to use anymore, or you want it someplace else. So we leave it up to our discretion when we get back here. I mean, we'll pick some certain hard facts like the Scott packs and stuff to be mounted, but we leave that up to our interpretation here, and we do it the way we want to do it. So.
Great. So guys, I wanted to come back to the rear because apparatus building, and you know in your committees, and I'm sure you guys have built more than one truck in your careers, right? There's trade-offs. And so what's super important to you guys is a 1,000-gallon booster tank. You need that water, you want that initial hit on the up front, right? But with 1,000 gallons pushes our hose bed up a little bit. What I think is really smart though is with the mid-mount pump, it allows you to have your speed lays down low. So your primary attack lines are coming off the side of this engine, and they're at ground level.
Absolutely.
Important, right? Talk to me a little bit about some of the design features here, right? The compartmentation and then the hose bed itself. You're running, what, 1,000 feet of 5-inch?
Correct, sir. 1,000 feet of 5-inch, there's 8 of 3, there's 6 of 2, and I believe that 2-inch bed is 200 feet.
250.
250, yeah,
Yeah.
we have dead bed of 50, right?
Right.
So there's a dead bed there of 50 underneath the pre-connected 200.
Right.
So that would be your only real attack line that you're gonna see on the back of our engine.
Right.
Is that 2.
And then that 3-inch bed, is that set up for supply or attack?
Supply, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I could see too a lot of times, like I know I love running like cheater lines. So like I'll run a 3-inch line to another engine, right? Just do that like booster backup and type thing. So guys, with Engine 5, the process working with Fire and Safety Services. I mean, we're here documenting the engine and telling the story of the Sparta Township Fire Department. The process with Fire and Safety, Mike, what did that look like?
Seamless. It's really honestly seamless. It was from get-go when Greg came in and worked with us and sat down and said, what do we want, what do we need? Or wants versus needs. You know, he explained it all with his history and everything else in the fire service and building trucks. And then we went out to Pierce and they couldn't be more accommodating to what we wanted, and they listened to our ideas. Even if in the background they said, oh, that's not gonna work, they kind of worked with us to mold it so we can get what we wanted out of the process. Yeah, they were great.
Chris, for you being the engineer of Engine 5, I have to think a lot of the maintenance and all those other things kind of fall on you too, right?
Yeah.
So what does that look like? Have you had any field service work working with them?
Really, the truck has had no issues, really. Honestly, it's been really a perfect truck in the year that we've had it. So.
Right.
That's great. Well, I wish you tremendous success with it as it forges forward. I hope it goes to many fires, and I hope it gives safe passage to everybody that rides it. Mike, thank you. Pleasure meeting you, man. A lot of fun. Thank you. Chris, thank you, sir. I wish you tremendous success with your future, and thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Good. Thanks for joining us as we toured the Sparta Township, New Jersey Fire Department with Fire and Safety Services. From Framerails to Finish is a film series dedicated to the delivery of new Pierce apparatus in New Jersey. Sparta Township knocked it out of the park with Engine 5, so thanks for joining us, and we'll see you at the next one. Check out Fire and Safety Services on their social media and their website.